So recently I had a conversation with Paul Gelder, who was a Navy diver and a shark attack survivor who now dedicates his life to protecting and preserving all sea life. Many of you guys might know Paul from Shark Week or his book No Time for Fear. I first stumbled upon Paul through one of Casey Neistat's videos where he described him as a BAMF, and here's why. Paul, did you, I guess, want to start off by just telling a little bit about yourself and your story?
My name's Paul de Gelder. I'm 41 years old. I was born down in Melbourne in Australia and moved from there when I was 10 to the capital of Australia called Canberra, which is a very boring place, and I found myself getting into a lot of trouble. I finally escaped that place when I turned 21 and I moved away and tried to start a new life. That didn't go really as planned. I ended up working behind a bar in a strip club and making rap music. Not really like it gave me some new opportunities and some new experiences, but didn't really take me out of the bad environments. And then I just, I was hitting 23 and I just thought I've got to do something with my life because I'm looking down the barrel of just having a normal, everyday suburban life, not making much money, working in hospitality. And I just knew that there was so much more out there than that. I ended up looking into joining the army and became an infantry soldier and spent the next 4 years doing incredible things with the army, jumping out of planes as a paratrooper, carried a machine gun for 2 years. I was a United Nations peacekeeper for 6 months, a place called East Timor. And then after, 5 years of doing that, I needed something else. So I tried out for these guys in the Navy called the clearance divers, which are like the elite of the Navy. And I passed all the selection process, passed the 9 months continuation training and started living my dream as a Navy clearance diver, traveling the world, jumping out of aircraft, blowing shit up, shooting guns, lived at Bondi Beach and rode a big black Italian sports bike. Dream life. I'd fought tooth and nail and I'd finally done it. And I was doing that for 4 years, and then a bull shark attacked me while I was at work in Sydney Harbour and just took it all away in 10 seconds. That was a pretty big day at work.
That's crazy. I mean, that's probably the last thing on your mind. You're totally focused on your work. And
actually, it was always the first thing on my mind. I was terrified of sharks. Not the best fear to have for someone who's in the water as much as a Navy diver, but I'm pretty sure I wasn't alone. You have a job to do, you have missions, so you just put it to the back of your mind as much as you can and focus on the task. But then it comes out of nowhere and starts eating you, and it becomes very real.
How long has it been, by the way, since your accident?
A little over 9 years now. February 11th, 2009.
Just curious, do you know the statistics for shark attacks? Are they really high in Australia where you were working?
I was the first person in 60 years. Just wow. Very unlucky. And we knew that there was bull sharks all through Sydney Harbour. The fishermen caught them all the time. People see them. We know they're there. But they never really bothered anyone that much. And I think it was just the perfect storm of ingredients. It was at the end of summer. So the start of February is the last month of summer for Australia. So it's quite hot. The sharks are very active. They're hunting. It was early in the morning. It was overcast, so the light levels were very low. Plus the water in Sydney Harbour is quite murky in a lot of the areas. So it wouldn't have been able to visually see me as well. And I was on the surface in a black wetsuit, in a pair of black fins, flopping around on the surface like an injured seal. You can't do shit like that and expect to come out shiny every time.
Just going back to that day, it's very scary. How did you end up surviving that shark attack?
A lot of factors came into play that kept me alive. The first one was the decade of military experience that I had, learning how to, control panic in a very turbulent situation, how to think through situations, because I literally thought I was about to die. It had me underwater. I was drowning. I was in total agony. I couldn't get away from this shark. So I was preparing myself for death. And then I popped to the surface and realized I wasn't dead. The shark wasn't attached to me anymore. I wasn't being thrashed around. And I had a safety boat in the water about 100 meters away, so about 300 feet away. And 3 of my buddies were in there. So I thought, I've got to get out of here. And I just started swimming back to the boat. And I took a stroke, but my hand was missing. So my medical training taught me to keep the wound above my heart. So I kept it out of the water above my head as much as I could. And I started swimming with one hand. And my leg was so badly damaged that I couldn't even feel it. I couldn't move it, couldn't feel it. So I was swimming back to the boat with one arm, one leg through a pool of my own blood. The guys in the safety boat had seen it, obviously, and were coming towards me to pick me up at the same time. So we kind of met in the middle. They pulled me out of the water and did first aid and kept me alive until the paramedics arrived. Then they pumped me full of drugs, took me straight to the hospital, which was only about 10 or 15 minutes away, and wheeled me straight into emergency surgery. So the fluidity of it, how smooth everything ran, my training, my buddy's training, the paramedics, and the fact the surgery was set up all kept me alive. Because without all of those coming into play, just one brick missing and I could have died. Now, I went through 150 litres of blood. That's 300 donations. So it's a lot of blood.
Yeah,
so if I didn't get to surgery that quick, I would have died from loss of blood.
Like, it's incredible we're even having this conversation.
You see the surgery photos, and even I can't believe that I'm still alive.
And your leg, you had that amputated. It wasn't because of the shark.
The shark took my whole hamstring and a lot of my nerve, so I couldn't move it. I couldn't feel it. The doctor broke it down for me and gave me the reality of the situation. A week after the attack, I had to make the decision, and I decided to just have it taken off because there was no way it was going to be useful. I'd just be dragging it around with me like a lump of dead wood. At least now I have the best prosthetic leg in the world.
What tips would you have to anyone who does encounter a shark to survive in a situation like that?
If you can't get away from it, say there's no option, the shark is swimming around you, you're not near land, you're not near a boat or anything, what you want to do is try and keep your eyes on it as much as you can. So I just shot a show where I was drifting through the Atlantic Ocean, 2,000 feet deep, for 2 days and 2 nights, no food, no water, and the crew were chumming the water as well. So it was a scenario whereby our boat had blown up. We were in the middle of the ocean. Maybe we were spearfishing. The bait box had gone over the side. It attracted all the sharks. And I spent 2 days surrounded by a pack of oceanic whitetips. And the thing that kept me safe was the fact that I could see them. I remained calm. And anytime they came in, I didn't meet them with aggression. I met them with a dominant force. We had occasionally safety divers in the water, and I had to keep telling some of them off because they kept jabbing the sharks with a pole, which was aggravating them. I had to show them you don't have to do that. If it comes in close to you, put your hand on the end of its nose, put it on the side of its head, redirect it, push it away. You're showing a sign of dominance, not aggression. That's what I would highly recommend. Don't take your eyes off it. Don't be super aggressive unless it's really having a go at you, gnashing its teeth at you. Straight for the eyes, straight for the nose if you can. All of this was running through my head too, but I just didn't have the opportunity to do that.
No, I mean, like, that's like going completely against your instinct. Like, you just want to turn and swim away.
A lot of the time, the sharks aren't trying to kill you. They're not trying to eat you. They're just curious and they're coming in for a look. And you can see all of these videos on YouTube where great white sharks come up to people and they put their hand on the nose or they're swimming on its back. All this amazing stuff. And generally, that is enough to deter it. For it to realize, okay, this isn't food. The biggest rule that someone taught me was don't act like food. They won't treat you like food.
Yes.
Don't run away. Don't try like thrashing away if it's too close.
Let's kind of talk about like life after surgery. How were you able to move forward from this day and just stay positive? Like, I've seen you on many different videos and talk shows, and you seem like a really positive guy. How have you turned the situation around and just kept moving forward?
I used to get called stubborn a lot. And I think a lot of how well I've done has come down to my stubbornness because I refuse to be depressed. I refuse to have a crappy life. I refuse to let this beat me because I had an amazing life and I'm not going to let an 8-second incident take that all away from me. We get to make a choice every day when we get up. Am I going to be positive or am I going to be negative? Am I going to make today worth living or am I going to make it shit? I have so many more dreams to do. I get this second chance at life. I literally thought I was dead. So now I get this second chance. You can't waste it. And all the love and support that I was getting from my friends, my family, from the military, even people from around the world that I didn't know that were sending me letters of support. I can't waste that. I have to show them that love and support wasn't wasted. So I think the biggest thing that I did, I refound purpose and a value because I think that was my biggest fear when I was laying in that hospital bed, wondering which way I was going to go, whether I was going to be depressed and sad and have a shitty life and look at the negatives, or I was going to look at the things that I still had in my life. And finding value and purpose in what was to come was probably the biggest thing because without those two things, it's so much harder to get up out of bed because you don't feel like you have anything to offer the world. Find those things and they're your motivation and your driver.
Once you have that purpose and you know what your goal is, there's nothing stopping you. I mean, life is so precious. It's so short. You just got to go for it.
I don't think people realize how much people die. Like literally in America every day, like hundreds of people are dying every day. So this could be you. You know, you could walk down the street, some idiot doesn't stop at a stoplight, you're dead. Boom, gone. Your light is extinguished. So find a purpose. Don't waste this time. Find something amazing for yourself to do. And it doesn't even have to be something grand. Just make the little things count. Those little things, they build up over time. It was like me recovering and going back to work. I couldn't even imagine going back to the Navy straight away. It was too big. It was too hard. So I broke it into small, little, achievable goals over time. Now, something as simple as get up earlier, find ways to sleep better, eat healthier, get off the drugs. Little things that over time built up surprisingly quickly as well, because once you have those small little goals and challenges set, you can smash through them all. But if you're just kind of bumbling through life going, okay, well, I have this dream of traveling the world, but I don't really know how I'm going to get there, and I'm just going to wait and see if it happens. You will never get there. But if you have these little incremental steps, you can go 1, 2, 3. And I got back to work after 6 months, and they said I would never be able to do that. I am nothing special. I am not super strong. I'm definitely not super smart. I don't have incredible resilience, anything like that. I'm just a normal guy. I used to slash up my arms when I was a kid because I was so depressed. I struggled with life. I was smoking bucket loads of weed, taking drugs, smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. It doesn't matter where you start, as long as you start. I went back into the water 3 months to the day after the shark attack, trying to surf on one leg. I love being in the ocean. We were discussing it before. How good does it make you feel? You don't even need to be in it. But where I lived at Bondi Beach, the water and the beach is so beautiful. I'd see it every day when I was trying to learn how to walk again and things like that. And all I wanted to do was get back in it and feel like totally encompassed in nature again. It's so healing. So as soon as my stitches and my staples were out of my leg and my hand, I went straight back in.
You're not scared? Like you're not like worried?
Dude, what's the chance of it happening twice? Working for Shark Week, it's probably a very high chance. I do some really ridiculous things now, like swimming with great white sharks without a cage in the middle of the ocean. So yeah, pushing the limits on that.
Power to you, man. That's great though.
There's nothing left to be afraid of. Once you've come that close to death, there is nothing left to be afraid of, because our ultimate fear is death. So why are we scared of heights and spiders and this and that? A lot of the times it comes down to we're just afraid of dying. We don't want to get hurt. We don't want to die. You find out what's really important when you come that close to death, and that is not having any regrets. The two biggest things I was afraid of were sharks and public speaking. And now I make shark documentaries and I do motivational speaking. By just talking and telling a story and helping people with the messages that I had learned through life, I was helping them. And they would write to me through social media and let me know how much that helped. And that meant so much to me. It made me feel like I had that value and purpose. I was actually serving. It was a transfer over from my military service to now I'm serving the community directly. I'm helping people that I might never have the opportunity to meet face to face, but I can still help them improve their lives and their mindsets and their emotions and their physicality and their nutrition while saving the planet. It's an amazing thing for me to feel like I can do. The change starts with you. I hate it when I hear people say, I can't or I could never. Those two words should be taken out of your vocabulary. I can't and I could never. I can't exercise. I could never stop eating meat. People say that for all manner of things. Don't say those. Just do it. You can do anything you want. My life has proven that to me. Cancel those words out. Just if you're going to say I can't or I could never, change it to I'm going to, I will. I'm not doing it just yet, but I can and I will.
So I hope you enjoyed this interview with Paul and found his story inspiring. I will have Paul's info in the description down below, so go and show him some love and subscribe to my channel to see more from Paul. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.